Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 4, Hiranyakashipu terrorizes the universe. Text number 21. Tasyogradanda samvignya sarvaloka sapalaka anyatra lava sarvita Sharanam Yayur Achutam Tasyogra Danda Samvignya Sarvaloka Sapalaka Anyatra Lava Sharana Sharanam Yayur Achutam Tasyogradanda samvigna sarvaloka sapalaka anyatra labha sarana sharanam yayur achutam tasyogradanda samvigna sarvaloka sapalaka Anyatra Labha Sharana Sharanam Yayur Achutam Jenska Tasyogradanda Samyukta Sarvaloka Sapalaka Anyatra Labha Sharana Sharanamaya Achutam Tasya of him Hiranyakashipu Ugradanda by the very fearful chastisement Samvigna disturbed Sarva all Loka the planets Sapalaka, with their principal rulers, Anyatra, anywhere else, Alabda, not obtaining, Sharana, shelter, Sharanam, for shelter, Yayu, approached, Achutam, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Everyone, including the rulers of the various planets, was extremely distressed because of the severe punishment inflicted upon them by Hiranyakashipu. Fearful and disturbed, unable to find any other shelter, they at last surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. Purport. Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhoktaram yaga tapasam sarva lokam maheshwaram suridam sarva bhutanam yatva mam shantim richati. The sages, knowing me as the ultimate purpose of all sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is actually the best friend of everyone. In a condition of distress or misery, one wants to seek shelter of a well-wishing friend. The well-wishing friend of the perfect order is Lord Shri Krishna. Therefore, all the inhabitants of the various planets, being unable to find any other shelter, were obliged to seek shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. If from the very beginning we seek shelter of the Supreme Lord, there will be no cause of danger. It is said that if a dog is swimming in the water and one wants to cross the ocean by catching the hold of the dog's tail, certainly he is foolish. Similarly, if in distress one seeks shelter of a demigod, he is foolish, for his efforts will be fruitless. In all circumstances, one should seek shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then there will be no danger under any circumstances. Tasyogra danda samvigya sarvaloka sapalaka anyatra lava sharanam yayur achutam. Everyone, including the rulers of the various planets, was extremely distressed because of the severe punishment afflicted upon them by Hiranyakashipu. Fearful and disturbed, unable to find any other shelter, they at last surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswatande Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Srinivadi Paskatyade Siddharna. Vitirna Krishne Parataksatova Mito Bipadyeta Griha Ratanam Adanta Gobira Vishitam Tamizram Punak Punas Sharvita Charvananam. So this is also from this chapter, from one of these. Vitirna Krishne Parataksatova. Let's see where it is. Difficult to find in the Sanskrit verses. Tirana Krishna Prataksadova Mito Vipadyeti Griha Ratanam. What's here? So it's M-A-T. Chapter 5, text 30. Yeah. Prahlad, the saintly son of Hiranyakashipu. Prahlad replied, because there are uncontrolled senses, persons too addicted to materialistic life make progress towards hellish conditions and repeatedly chew that which has already been chewed. Their inclination towards Krishna never aroused because either by instructions of others, by their own efforts, or by a combination of both. So material means consciousness. So generally speaking, everyone is looking to put their consciousness upon something in order to find relief from their problems. Everyone is taking shelter. The ultimate shelter is Krishna, because although we may think we don't have a relationship with Krishna, but factually everyone eternally has a relationship with Krishna. Therefore, the idea that we came from something other than Krishna, or that we were ever apart from Krishna, is not possible. Because without Krishna, we can't exist. Therefore, we're eternally with Krishna, somewhere or another. Just like now, it doesn't appear that we're in the spiritual world, but still we're with Krishna. And wherever Krishna is, the spiritual world is. Therefore, we can't leave the spiritual world. Isn't that good news? We're still in the spiritual world. We never actually left the spiritual world because it's not possible, because we can't leave Krishna, and wherever Krishna is, the spiritual world is there. And therefore, it's not possible to leave the spiritual world. But it's possible to think we left the spiritual world, and that's called the material world, when we think we've left the spiritual world, when we really haven't left the spiritual world. So, everyone wants to put their desire somewhere. Everyone is actually praying. Desire is a form of prayer. So everyone eternally is in a state of prayer. The only problem is we're praying to forget Krishna. If we simply pray to do something for Krishna, then one's life is perfect. No matter what one is doing, one has achieved perfection. And if we're desiring anything other than to please Krishna, whatever we're doing is a waste of time. Therefore, Matira and the Krishna, so generally speaking, the last thing they want to do is put their consciousness on Krishna. They'll try everything else. And when there's no other alternative, then they try out Krishna. Give him a chance too. He's usually the last option in most people's lives. Matirana Krishna Paratak Svatova. So Parata means someone else, Swa means oneself, and Mito means a combination of both. So generally one is trying to take shelter of one's own prowess. One thinks, I'm so strong, I'm so intelligent, I have so much money in the bank, these things will protect me. Balasya neha sharanam pitaro nashingha. That the parents are trying to protect the child. Nartasya chagadam. The doctor and the medicine are trying to protect the patient. Balasya neha sharanam pitaro nashingha. Nartasya chagadam. Udanvito majitao now. And the boat on the water is supposed to protect the people in the boat. So all these are considered to be shelters. But tatviri hanjashreshtas twadvido tanubritam tvat upekshitana. But unless Krishna gives shelter, actually this is probably in the same thing, same place, same prayers here. Balasyaneha sharanam pitaro nashingha nartasya chaganam utanvito majitao now. It's in it's in Prahladan's prayers to Lord Nrsingadev. Balasya 7:9-19. Yeah, got it. 7:9-19. Prahlad Maharaj has many, many prayers in here, the important prayers. If you just memorize the whole 7th canto, then you'd probably know everything. So, taptasya tat prividir ahanja shestas. So for the child, his parents are the shelter. For the sick person, the doctor and the medicine are the shelter. For the person on the water, a boat is the shelter. But taptasya, it's a person who is suffering from the conditions of material misery. Tat prativridir, the counteraction invented or stopping the material existence. Ihanja shestas, they're accepted as remedy, but twadvido tunubritam, tvad upekshitana. But if they're not accepted by you, they're useless. In other words, if Krishna doesn't want the child to grow up, he'll die, no matter how nicely the parents try and take care of him. On the other hand, even the parent wants to kill the child, if Krishna takes care of him, like Prahlad Maharaj, even if someone as powerful as Hiranyakashipu can't even disturb him. Now the medicine may be very powerful, and the doctor may be expert, but still one may die anyhow. And one may be on the point of death, and everyone says, well, forget it, there's no hope. And the person within a couple of days gets up and walks away. And the boat may be very strong, but it may sink anyhow. On the other hand, someone may be in the water for months and years and still survive in some kind of raft or something. So what's the factor? The factor is Krishna. If Krishna, whatever Krishna desires. Of course, Krishna is not whimsical. He doesn't think that, I don't like the way this person looks. Better off getting rid of him. One last ugly face in the world. One less ugly face in the world. So Krishna does away with him. No. According to one's activities in the material world, Krishna reciprocates accordingly. Or if one is a devotee, Krishna may make special arrangements. So the demigods are partial devotees. They're Sakama devotees, like we are. Sakama means they're within the realm of Chatur Vida Bhajante Mam Janasakritina Arjuna Arta Jignasya Artarati Gyani Cha Bharatar Shiva. That 4 kinds of pious people take shelter of Krishna, and one of them is the Arta Artis, or the Artas. And the Artas are those who want some material comfort. So why does one want to become a demigod? Why does one become a demigod? Because they want a better position in the material world. They're willing to serve Krishna in that position because without serving Krishna, there is no question of having a comfortable position. But they're willing to serve Krishna, and they are happy they're put into such a nice position. How nice it is, we can't even imagine that if you knew that this is your 1000th birthday and you were still a baby, you'd be pretty confident that I'm going to live for a long time. By the time you get to the 1000th birthday, they just put 1 candle on your cake. Happy birthday. And there's no problem. Whatever you practice, whatever you want is provided. There's no poverty in the heavenly planets. Everyone looks beautiful. The doctors there are really super expert. The Ashwini Kumaras. If you want to, their medicine is just their ordinary superfood. They have superfood there. You take the samarasa and you get super healthy. So people want that. Where else can you go? Unless you go to Brahmaloka. And there one birthday is, when you have a birthday there, I took birth on Brahmaloka. Of course, if you take birth on Brahmaloka now, you only have 150 trillion years left to live. Your duration of life has been shortened. Still, people don't mind taking birth on Brahmaloka. Although the life expectancy there is only half as it used to be. So there are Sakama devotees. They want to serve Krishna, but they want to do it with material opulence. And therefore Krishna arranges it to put them in difficulty. Because otherwise their time in the heavenly planets would be a complete waste of time. Things are going too nicely, then one cannot develop spiritually. Just like we ourselves on this earth planet, we're thinking, well, why all this disturbance? I'm just trying to chant my rounds. Because we don't have so much disturbance here. But in any case, we may wonder, why so much difficulty sometimes? Because unless there's difficulty, there's no question of developing character. If everything goes nicely, there's no question of trying to develop detachment. There's nothing to become detached from. If everything is going exactly the way we think it should go, then we'll never become detached from the material world. We'll be happy to stay here as long as everything's going the way we think it should go. If you want to learn to develop a spirit of appreciation, love for others, then sometimes if you put into an association for those who are not loving, then you have to you can know what the exact opposite is. Then you can develop it. If everyone around you is friendly and happy and loving with you, then there's no reason for you to develop that quality. Because There's no conflict to develop it with. There's no test. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, it says that when one sees that when one passes the test of the spiritual master, then the spiritual master automatically blesses the devotee, the disciple, with genuine spiritual knowledge. So we think we're going to go back to Godhead, first class on a first class seat in a Vaikuntha airplane. As soon as we join the movement, immediately we get a first class seat on a Vaikuntha airplane. And we're just, sitting there popping grapes until the Vaikuntha airplane finally comes and makes it stop to pick us up. We're wrong. And even in the life of the devotees, what devotee simply appeared, and just sat there popping grapes until Krishna finally appeared before him? Oh, there you are. I've been waiting for you. Every devotee has been put into so much difficulty, unimaginable for us. If the government came in now and said you're vanquished into what was the name of the park here? What's that? Tivoli Park for 14 years. Wouldn't be so bad, but it might be a little inconvenient during the winter. Well, it's the only question we ask. Could I bring my cell phone with me? Imagine being vanquished or vanished for 14 years into a forest after living in a palace. And Prahlad Maharaj, of course, we know the history here, that he was put into so many distressful conditions. Dhruva Maharaj went into the forest, and he was, at the end of his austerity, he was standing on one foot, not even breathing, just focusing his mind upon Krishna. Try it. Hold your breath and stand on one foot, trying to remember Krishna. Okay, hold your breath and stand on 2 feet and try to remember Krishna. And who else was? Everyone. Narada Muni was wandering all over the planet after his mother died when he was born of a Shudra. So who had an easy existence? The Pandavas didn't. Prahlad Maharaj didn't. Dhruva Maharaj didn't. Everyone, practically speaking, all the great devotees were put into difficulty. And that simply furthered their devotion. It didn't diminish it. Prahlad Maharaj didn't think, well, I've been chanting my rounds, and the more I chant, the more difficulty I'm putting into. So better if I stop chanting, maybe I'll get a relief. Give me a break. I'm throwing my beads down for a day and see what happens. I remember one devotee telling me that. He was saying, every time I chant, worse things happen to me. My mind even becomes more disturbed. So if I stop chanting, then maybe I'll get some relief. That, of course, may be due to the fact that we're so attached to our material desires that when we start chanting, immediately our material desires are threatened, so we become more attached to them. That's called offensive chanting. Namaparad. Offensive chanting means that we're chanting, but instead of giving up our material desires, we become more attached to them. Instead of uprooting the weeds of material existence, we're actually watering them. And we wonder why it doesn't work. That old analogy, we run up to the tree and we hold on to the tree and keep on telling the tree, let me go, let me go, let me go. And someone comes along and says, my dear sir, the tree is not holding on to you, you're holding on to the tree. Why don't you just let the tree go and you'll be all right? No, you don't understand. Look, the tree's got me. Tell him to let me go. No, just give up holding the tree. You're holding the tree. The tree has no arms. He can't hold you. You don't see what's going on? Get someone to help me. Get out of here. So Maya is not holding on to us, we're holding on to Maya. Oh Maya, don't leave me. Hare Krishna, Maya, help me. Krishna is trying to take me away from you. So we have to give up our attitude that I have to take shelter in the material energy. And only when things get so bad that we take shelter of Krishna. Only when there's no other resource. So Krishna arranges that. He takes away all the resources. Yasyanugrahami, harishe tadana shanai. And Krishna, out of his compassion, even if the demigods, he has to take away everything they have, so that ultimately they know that Krishna is the only resource, and they make a little tiny bit of spiritual advancement by taking shelter of Krishna at that time. Of course, after the problem goes away, then they're back to it again. Oh, Krishna, oh boy, I had this bad dream. There was this guy, Hiranyakashipu. Oh, don't worry about it. He wasn't really real. So he's only in the Bhagavatam. These guys are not, they're just part of a horror show, that's all. Don't worry, go back and enjoy, you'll be all right, there's no problem. So as soon as the problem is over, then people go back, including the demigods, back to their material enjoyment, and they try to forget the distress that they had temporarily due to the appearance of some obstacle in the material world for their enjoyment. So Krishna will come again and again as the demons. This material world is a fight between the demigods and the demons, because otherwise there would be no need to take shelter of Krishna. For those who are on the side of the demons, there's no reason to take shelter of Krishna. They don't see any reason. Therefore, their minds are never conflicted. They feel completely peaceful. Well, not completely peaceful, but they're not disturbed like the devotees are. It's like a hog. A hog is never conflicted when he sees stool. Should I eat it or not eat it? Is it who donated it? Were they a devotee or non-devotee? A hog is never conflicted. As soon as he sees stool, spontaneously, he knows what to do. There's no mental problem. When he sees a female hog, he doesn't think, well, is she related to me, or what will happen if I get entangled with her? What will happen with the children? Can I support them? No, he doesn't have any problem at all within his mind. There's no conflict with at all. He's on the platform of spontaneous sense gratification. He's raganuga, calm. But for a devotee, they have some conflict within their mind. Should it be done? Should it not be done? I don't really want to do it. I shouldn't be doing it. So there's so much anxiety, so much conflict. And they think, well, before I joined the movement, I was so peaceful, relatively. I didn't have all these problems. Now I joined the movement, and all these rules and regulations, and my mind is so agitated. Maybe I should just give it up, go back to my normal material existence, and I'll be happy and peaceful in my sense gratification. I won't worry whether I should have sense gratification or not. I'll just have it, and I'll be happy. All this mental agitation will go away. But that's the process. The mental agitation has to be there. And if we make the right choice, then we make progress. If not, then there'll be more mental agitation. So we understand that the goal of life is to fix the mind on Krishna. Then we should take the mental agitation, this disturbances externally, as simply assistance to us to formalize our desire to take shelter of Krishna. Because it's not a mechanical process. It depends upon the soul developing the desire to obtain Krishna. And therefore the material world is an assistance to help us to develop that desire to obtain Krishna again. Krishna is not interested in our surrender because mechanical surrender. He's interested in our developing our spiritual desire, our anxiety to surrender to Krishna. And therefore material existence is an assistant for that too. So Hiranyakashipu, although he seems like a demon, but he's a very good friend of the demigods, because without him, the demigods would simply be playing around. They wouldn't make any spiritual advancement, and there are thousands and millions of years in the heavenly planets would just be wasted completely without deepening their relation with Krishna. So I'll stop there. Thank you. Any questions? Yes.
Hare Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, several times Krishna says that Shantim Nachirana Digachati, that such a yogi, such a devotee, such a person will quickly obtain peace, or without delay obtain peace. So how quickly is quickly in our society?
Quickly? Well, maybe in a moment you can obtain peace. Moment of Brahma. Just a moment. And Brahma, he lives for 311 trillion, 40 billion years, and that's only practically a few moments in Mahavishnu's life. So, just a moment. It depends upon us. We have no idea how long. It's just in the Chaitanya pastimes, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, we find some people, like this Muslim governor who's a drunkard. He heard that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was on the other side of the river, and he sent a spy there. The spy came back in ecstasy, describing this prophet. And because the Muslim spy that he sent was rolling on the ground, chanting the names of Krishna and Ram and Chaitanya, therefore he was a little curious. So he went over there to the other side of the river, made a pact with the devotee in charge of the other side of the river, where the Hindus were. And when he saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Muslim governor, dressed as a Hindu, he became completely ecstatic and overwhelmed. So do we think, well, maybe I should have been taken birth as a Muslim, especially a drunkard, then I could have gotten the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Here I am. Can't get his mercy. I was born in Slovenia. No, we can't imagine what this Muslim governor did in his last lifetime to deserve such an opportunity. It's not that it just happened by chance. A person did many, many Krishna conscious activities in their past lifetime. And now they're given the opportunity to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally. So how long it's going to take us depends probably on what we've done in the past, how much devotional credit we have. And when it adds up, then we get the result. Then we get the full result. But it's a gradual process, and we've supposed to have been here since time immemorial, accumulated sinful activities. So that's a long time. So patience is welcomed. Only with patience will we be able to hear, and only by hearing can we get any knowledge. And only by getting any knowledge can we get a perspective. And only by getting a perspective can we get a conviction. And only by a conviction we can actually, and with knowledge and perspective, can we get any skill. And only by skills, applying them with conviction and knowledge and perspective, can we get a character. And only when we develop a character of a pure devotee can we actually get the full result. So patience is welcome. Anything else? Thank you very much. Grantaraj Bhagavad Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai.